I do have 6 o'clock. We will call the meeting of finance together. Actually, we'll start here with review of the minutes. September 15th minutes are on page 2 of your packet.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Overman and second by Chris Gregory to approve. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, let me know by stating aye. Aye. Motion's approved. Minutes are final. Next part here, we would move into our purchasing reminder, the current purchasing. I think those are with asterisks on the front of your front page, page 1. Myself, Commissioner Gregory, Beverly Atwood, Will Dennis, and Jerry Ford. Remember, that's the 5 members currently of that committee. Those are skip my mind how those were the 5 members, to be honest with you. I believe it's due to the original group that was budget and finance before the finance committee went from 5 to a larger number. There we go. On purchasing, you see pages 4 and 5.
Just 5. 4 is part of the minute.
My apologies, 4 is part of the minutes, not 4 and 5. Remind me on how 4 is part of the minutes.
The purchase orders that were still open as of June. That we
Those-
had to do a budget amendments for us.
These were purchase orders that were outstanding for the previous year's budget. Okay. That clear everybody on that one? Are there any additional outstanding?
For a purchase order. I think a lot of that's been cleared up. I'll have to go back and.
All right, moving on with purchasing July to September. The health department, is that a total or is that just a part bill at this point? That's. What was the county's match on that? Roughly 130,000 total
That's the county's.
at total.
So total project is, I think, running at 730,000.
Any questions on any items of the purchasing from those in purchasing?
What was the expense on the fire department here?
That's great. No, racing, I'm sorry. Which line are those? 101-54310, public safety UAS, says fire equipment, is that the one you're?
9570. It's sort of fire equipment, which we retail.
I will have.
What's the number?
The number is, 116. No, it's
Public
101.
safety units, 101.
The $9,570, not 101-54-310. Okay. What was Smith County Solid Waste, for the last quarter,
Fourth floor.
quarter four? Is that accessible?
About 34,000.
So about the same. All right, any other questions in purchasing? If not, I would entertain a motion to accept the purchasing and approve as we've been presented. I know with the question on the 101-54-310, what is the fire department equipment was purchased? Have a motion by Commissioner Gregory, second by Ms. Atwood to approve. Do I hear any further discussion? I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, let it be known by stating aye. Aye, it is approved. All right.
That. I don't know for a fact, but. But that's what I'm thinking. Like SCBA, I think that's a proper. They've been purchasing a lot. Right. Has been done, so I didn't narrow it down for it.
All right, moving on. Next piece, we will move into item 4, which is your trustees' cash balance and your financial summaries. We're in our finance committee meeting whole at this point. Any discussion here?
We spend those, yeah, those awful funds and we say we don't do it, but we still. It'd be easy to go out there and do it. But some of them still have that budget, is it five hundred?
Five.
In general and I think the full number.
So,
That's the catch.
yep. A roughly 500,000 is accounted, in terms of, has a place it's going. There's some of that money that will be spent, but hasn't been spent. So there's some things that have been allocated for. Roughly 500,000 is, has no destination at this time. So in other words, we have roughly 10% of that money left. Have a motion to approve trustees report with no other questions. Do I hear a second? Second by Commissioner Ford. Any discussion further? If not, all those in favor, let me know by stating aye. Aye. All right, we will move into the our financial summaries. You are in the, or we are in the third month, 25% of the year. You'll see an additional breakdown Miss Amy give you there because payroll hasn't come, so that's 19.2 on the payroll. Looking at the 101 revenue side. Of course, page 7 gives you your breakdown as with normal. Looks to be which revenue? Property tax? Well, same time last year, it was 2.8. Usually October, you get some uptick and then November a little. And then it pretty much has nothing until the February.
Pay theirs and say, I mean, it's gonna be a bunch more coming. They
Right.
pay theirs in October too, and that ain't come in yet.
They're just not gonna pay at the beginning of October.
Yeah.
It's gonna come in October. You'll see some of that jump in November.
This is just folks that come in.
Correct.
October look better, they get that.
Should.
10%.
All right, looking at the revenue side, you're, as you just mentioned there in this case, mainly revenue side is lagging due to, as always, this time of year, property tax. Local option sales tax still runs a little bit behind, month and nearly 2 months, I believe, is where we see it. I will say, I believe we noticed at the end of last year, that one had a little bit fallen off from what we had projected it to be, though. Sales tax seems to be a little bit less purchasing. Not near as bad as surrounding counties. Any questions in the 101 revenues? Expenditures are on par, 23.3%. Did Rescue Squad have a large purchase? 54, 420.
Yes, they have a $52,000 grant that they are spending.
A $52,000 grant that's being spent.
Oh, the budget amendment. There,
But it's already been spent.
it's in the process.
So it's already been removed, showing 49.8% of expenses.
Mhm.
Is that only difference here in the grants? Expenditures, grant line items without? I was about to say, because the grant's not listed in here. Generally, when we have those expenses on grants, they're listed in our line items. The one real reason I think the large piece is your insurance premiums, workman's comp, and fuel charges. They're at 95.2%, which are paid in, I believe, July, somewhere in that range, they're paid out. So a large premium that's one of those that has ticked the expenditure side up. All right, no questions there. Continuing on, 111. Revenues are coming in, still, as we said, looks weak, but it's mainly due to property tax. And the fact that local option sales tax runs 2 months behind. Expenditures are running just fine at 6.7%. Any questions, 111? 116, solid waste. Revenues at 10.1%. Again, same conversation. Property tax is a major portion of the revenue, which will not see an uptick until November. Expenditures are running 10% below or 9.2% below the 25%. Any questions? A lot of chatter tonight. 118. Maybe a page was accidentally missing here. If there are any questions, we can dig into those later. That page is the breakdown we've gotten really used to. Some things happen like that. Revenues coming in about as normal with the rest. Patient charges is really coming in weak, which has done that regularly. But expenditures are still well below the 25%. 121 special fund, as we've said, that's pass-through money. I hope we've made that clear, that even though when you look on the counties, at the county revenues, it looks like this is a revenue stream, but it is not a revenue stream. This is pass-through money. 122 County Drug Fund. It is one of those that, as we know, is an up and down mover. It's a very small budget. One twenty-seven, ARPA. 127 and 128 are the same funds. Any discussion there? They're not, but they are. No discussion? Continuing 151 debt service. Reminder, most of these that were put on a fixed income with that purchase last year, but maybe 2 years ago now, had a 5 year before we could pay anything on those above the principal payment. No questions there. Moving to 171 capital projects. Adequate facilities tax, the portion that was put into here has made 35,750 thus far this year. A little over 1 million sitting in that for capital projects. Mr. Gregory.
One question, on the adequate facilities tax and the amount shown, that 35,750, is that calendar year to date or fiscal year to date? Okay, well, the reason I ask is, if you look back at the 101 general fund, the financial statements, adequate facility development tax shows only 17,000 having come in for the year. So what's the difference between the 17 there and 35,750?
The majority,
Your ordinance is 1,500 goes to 101 and the remaining goes to 171.
that is the setup of that ordinance. I was going to answer that one for you. Does that clear that up?
Yeah.
One 131 highway. I'll remind you on this one, the county puts in 115,000 of this entire budget. It's a large budget. 115,000 of it is the county's. Something called maintenance of effort. Hopefully that's a term that this body doesn't lose. sight of. 141, general purpose schools. We look at only the revenue side. You will see likewise, the revenues look low due to property tax and sales tax mainly. I do caution us to continue to keep an eye on the sales tax portion. That seems to be a big troublemaker right now for larger counties with a lot of revenue from sales tax. We saw a decrease, if I remember correctly, but it wasn't as huge. When does TVA pay their?
January.
When they start their fiscal year back? That might be something interesting for us to all go back and read that agreement with TVA that was signed in 2019 by the commission again. Might be something worth reading. I think we extended that contract for 30 or 50 years. Might want to go back and read that since there's some chatter. Just a thought. Any other questions in the looking at financial summaries for September, third quarter? Not third quarter, but third month. If not, I would entertain a motion to accept the financial summaries as presented. Have a motion to accept. And second by Ms. Overman. Any questions? If not, all those in favor, let me know by stating aye. Aye. Any opposed? It does pass. We will now move into our budgetary items. These could all be taken together, actually. Is there something you want to pull out, or do you want to look at these all together? These can, go ahead.
I just have a question on the 118,021.
EMS insurance service,
Yes,
$2,820.
right. What incident was that? Does anyone know?
I have no idea.
There was an incident at a call to where the coroner was taking a little too sharply and scuffed up the side of the ambulance.
It would appear that that one has been corrected and moving onward. Are there any other you want to look into? If not, as I said, these could all be pulled together. I have a motion to take them all together. And a second. Any further discussion? Is that to approve them all or just to take them all together? The second agrees with that as well. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, let me know by stating aye. Aye. It is approved. Next one. Discussion items in Public Works. think that's the right call of it today. Is it Public Works, Parks and Rec? Parks and Rec, my bad, names. Parks and Rec, it has been mentioned to us, Mr. Slee has mentioned that there's a need to repave the walking track around the park. That seemed to be, it seems to me to be a very, and to that, Parks and Rec, to be a very, well-used area of our county. He's somewhere in the 50 grand range. It may be more than that. I think they've got to go in and chip it away. Hire a company to go in and chip it away and then repave it. Somewhere in the 50 grand range, is what Mr. Slee has given us thus far. I haven't seen an actual number yet. So, my suggestion in Parks and Rec was to use ARPA funds to cover the paving of this track. It is well used by the county. Citizens of the county, I think it's something that is in need, as we've been told, and would be a good use of those funds. He said it was in need, so that's kind of what I was thinking too. Government moves kind of slow, doesn't it, in those cases? You can have a sidebar. Turning to your page 18 in your packet. We'll have a little discussion here. 56,700. Money that is left over from the park rework. It was paid out of ARPA originally. I think that was a 50% match, if I remember that correctly. 600,000 is coming to mind. There's 180,000 left over. $180,645. The concern right now is we're not 100% sure how that was written. Was it for just that park portion of it, or could it go for anything in the park? So that's kind of the question at hand. It is money that's sitting in ARPA, but is sitting allocated for the park, if that makes sense. Is everybody with me and up to date on this? It sounds like we may be okay just to acknowledge it, or we may need a resolution to say, hey, let's use this money. The okay would be if it was written for anything in the park. If it was not, then we would just have to come back and say, hey, let's take whatever it cost out of this to cover the paving of the park. Is everybody kind of on page with me? Um, Mr. Ford, from what I can gather, it doesn't seem to be moving as fast as I think it's going to matter. So I think the money's going to be available to us to pave it next spring, honestly. I haven't seen him moving very fast on it, so
This month, it ain't gonna happen.
they'll shut down those asphalt plants. That's correct. Sometime.
They're gonna shut down.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes.
just had my driveway paved, and he says, I gotta get you the next 2 weeks, and that was 10 days ago.
Yeah, they shut down at a certain temperature of things and they roll on. So in my opinion, it's moving at the speed of government, I guess we might say, and we've probably got a little time. Be my personal opinion.
Problem with using these ARP funds for that.
I think it'd be best to know where we are and go on and get a plan for the spring is what it sort of sounds like to me. So that Mr. Salee has that movement to move forward. So I really do think we've got time for this to come back to this committee and from what I gathered in parks, there were still some things that had to be worked out before it was ready to move forward. Is everybody kind of clear on that? I would say we have time then, is what it sounds like.
This winter's is this summer anyway. Can catch it early next spring, it'll be fine.
Do we have any other discussion anybody want to bring to the table? Any public comment? Full house tonight.
Motion to adjourn?
I have a motion to adjourn. We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Consider yourself adjourned.